Welcome back to Veterans Auditorium. This afternoon, the 4A semifinals being played. Johnston is advanced to tomorrow night's championship game against the winner of this game between Southeast Polk and Iowa City West. Another CIML versus Mississippi Valley Conference matchup, and I think it'll be a good one, Jim.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting because on one hand you have Southeast Polk, who you look out there and they're all pretty much the same size. They came into the season, no one expected them to do anything, a little like the Iowa State Cyclones, and they've just had a tremendous year. Lost a couple heartbreakers. The Dowling came back and beat them in the tournament, and you can't even hardly picture who the star is. And then you look at Iowa City, and you know that the guy down there is Glenn Worley. I mean, as a sophomore, he won this tournament on a free throw with no time left. He's going to University of Iowa. He's truly one of the great players the state's ever put out. Let's see what happens between the ultimate team machine and against the ultimate superstar.
In fact, the Rams come in with a 19-3 record. Their 3 losses by a total of 3 points. Lost a couple of one-point games to Dowling, a one-point game to Lincoln, so that's all that separates them from being undefeated. Now, you take a look at the Rams, and it's hard to pick out, as you say, a particular individual to highlight because they're so mesh as a team. So we thought we'd go with the team captain, their guard, Nick Boyd, who is their leading scorer.
A smooth left-hander, a good scorer, good defensive player. I'm sure the leader on the floor. If there's a captain of the team, that's his role. Obviously, it's not to score all the points, it's to get the guys playing together, and he's done a great job this year for his team.
Yes, he has, and when you take a look at Nick Boyd, you're talking about a guy who was a first-team all-conference performer, has just been solid all season long.
Well, the whole team has been solid all season long. You don't do what they've done with the size they have, with the lack of scoring that they've had in terms of an individual star, and not be together as a team. So this will be a fun game. Now, they're going to have their hands full with a guy like Glenn Worley. We haven't seen too many guys come through as talented as he is. It'll be interesting to see how he handles this situation. There's really no one out there you can say, well, golly, they can stop Glenn Worley. But let's see what happens.
Well, Iowa City West comes in at 16-6, and yes, Glenn Worley is the man.
Well, he's been outstanding from the time anybody knew about him, and of course he signed early with Iowa. He's going to be a great player there. He's won 1 state championship. Does he have that desire to come back tonight and make it 2? Not many players get a chance to do that.
That's right. Well, he said, you know, my future teammate Dean Oliver's got 2. He said, I want 2. I want to catch it.
I'm sure that he's going to give a great performance, and it'll take a great performance tonight against a team like Southeast Polk, who's having a dream season, really. And
Worley is not the only player on that Iowa City West team that has a Division I scholarship in his hip pocket, but the other 2 are football players, and we'll tell you about them as the afternoon wears on. We'll be back with the starting lineups after this word from your local station. Time now to meet the players for this second 4A semifinal game. Let's go to public address announcer Bob Wilson.
Time for the last game in semifinal action and in Class 4A play. Listed on the scoreboard as a visiting team will be the Rams from Southeast Polk. And listed as the home team, the Trojans of Iowa City West. First, let's meet the non-starters for both ball clubs, and first for the Rams. Number 45 is Tanner Hargens. Number 15, Brad Keister. Number 13, Paul Kopecki. Number 25, Brian Phillips. Number 23, Jamel Jefferson. Number 21, Justin Thomas. Number 53, Jared Nelms. And number 51, Tyler Hausman. The assistant coaches for the Rams, Joel Kahn and Billy Proctor. For the Trojans from Iowa City West, number 10 is Nolan Applewhite. Number 20, Marcus Brathwaite. Number 22, Joe Walker. Number 23, James Ebert. Number 24, Ryan Rasley. Number 30, Nathan Spanheimer. Number 32, Justin Wick. Number 40, Aaron Goodrich. Number 44, Dylan Klein. And number 54, Chris Ruland. The assistant coaches for the Trojans, Chris Thorson and Mike Bevilacqua. And now for your starting lineups. At a forward for the Rams of Southeast Polk is a 6'3" junior, number 41, Kyle Orton. For the Trojans, a 6'5" senior is number 42, Kevin Long. For Southeast Polk, a 6'3" junior is number 43, Jake Pesick. For Iowa City West, a 6'2" senior is number 5, Nate Kading. At the center slots, a 6'5" junior is number 31, Brad Warren. And a 6'8" senior, number 34, Glenn Worley. At the guard slots, a 6'1" senior is number 33, Nick Boyd. A 6' senior, number 14, is Seth Schrader. And at the other guard slots, a 6'1" senior, number 11, Joe McGowan. And a 5'10" senior, number 12, Jamie Lang. The head coach for the Rams of Southeast Polk is Randy Barrick. And for the Trojans of Iowa City West, Steve Bergman. Our officials for the ball game, the referee is Rod Hill of Bettendorf. The umpire, Tim McCann from Davenport, and the bench official, Steve McCann of Creston.
It's Southeast Polk against Iowa City West. And of course, West, a team with rich state tradition. This is their 5th visit here since 1995, while the Rams making their 3rd state tournament appearance, and they had not won beyond in the first round the first couple of years. So rarefied air for them to be in the semifinals.
Yeah, they're excited. This is their first try at it. There's a little extra incentive.
For Southeast Polk, big win over Dowling in the sub-state after they lost to them twice by a point in the regular season. Then a 3-point win against Davenport Central. And the road to state for Iowa City West looked this way. A close one in the quarterfinals against Dubuque Wahlert. They won it by a point, forcing Wahlert into 19 turnovers. The opening tap is controlled by Glenn Worley, the outstanding basketball player, rated top 30 or 40 in the country by many recruiting services, and certainly one to watch, the future Hawkeye. Here is Nate Kading misfiring in the first shot of the ball game, but getting his own rebound.
Yeah, you got to block out even at that 3-point line. You got to block those guys out.
Jamie Lang goes baseline.
Great help by Southeast Polk that time on the drive. Good block out on Worley.
Kading with the miss, Long with the save. Worley can't finish, gets his own rebound, will finish this time.
Good job on the boards by Worley. Got blocked out the first time, but spun around and got the tip ball and missed a shot and got it back down. Both teams opening up in a man-to-man defense. Southeast Polk was really swarming on their defense.
Joe McGowan, and now the ball in the hands of Kyle Orton for Southeast Polk. The Rams, under the direction of the new head coach, Randy Barrett, took over from Tom Goodman, who helped really build this program, and Barrett's taken it to the next level. First foul of the game will come up against the Trojans from Iowa City West.
Good drive by Boyd. He's a left-hander, but he drove down that baseline on the right side, showed his versatility on that play.
Jamie Lang got the foul. Again, Southeast Polk with great balance. 4 of their 5 starters averaging between 9 and 13 points a game. So you can't shut just one Ram down, or 2.
Or 3.
That's right. They can beat you a lot of different ways.
It looks like they're going to make Iowa City guard them. They've had the ball now for about a minute.
Brad Warren goes baseline. Takes his time, left open, puts the left-handed shot up, not good. Rebound run down by Kevin Long.
Now let's see if Iowa City High can have that kind of patience.
Kading, who's headed for Iowa on a football scholarship to be a kicker, tries to get it inside to Worley. Off his hands, but passed by the Rams. And the other scholarship athlete in the Iowa City West starting lineup, number 42, Kevin Long, the outstanding quarterback and the 2-time state football champs from Iowa City West. He's headed to Kansas on a football scholarship. So 3 Division I scholarship athletes on the floor for Iowa City West. Orton runs down the rebound for the Rams. Now this is McGowan. Woo! Joe McGowan with a 3, and the Rams take the lead at 3-2.
Well, he's a 47% shooter from the three-point line, so that's a pretty good shot.
In deep, Orton doesn't get the roll.
Nice play by Worley. I think they thought he was going to try to block the shot, and he just held his ground and forced the offensive player to miss the shot. Good play by Glenn Worley.
Pulling up, Long leaves it long, and the rebound is taken by Boyd, and he is knocked to the net. So Nick Boyd securing the rebound. Worley with his second foul.
McGowan out of transition, just pulls it. You could see him shake his head just before he shot it, like, hey, I'm going to make this shot right now.
Make it Kading with the foul. Kading with the foul and Lang with the foul for Iowa City West. So here come the Rams up 3-2 on the strength of that 3 you saw a moment ago by McGowan. Jake Pesic, number 43. And this is Nick Boyd. McGowan loses it in the middle. Long gets a hand on it. Then it's picked off by Wick.
Good help by Kevin Long inside. Now they got Worley at the three-point line and Long outside or inside.
Justin Wick, number 32, in the lineup quickly for the Trojans. Backcourt violation, and the ball goes back to Southeast Polk. The Rams with a 3-2 lead in the ball. 3 minutes into the game. You look at Randy Barrick on the bench for Southeast Polk. Wednesday, a day he'll never forget. His wife goes into labor with their first child. He has to come to Veterans Auditorium. Cell phone always close. Then he leaves here after the 10 o'clock finish of the ball game. Goes to the hospital. His wife gives birth to a baby girl, their first child. Nick Boyd nails it for the Rams, and it's 5-2 Southeast Polk.
If the kids keep shooting like that, he can leave again.
Absolutely. Lang looking in against McGowan. Now baseline Worley on the turnaround.
Boy, he's tough in there. They just got to limit the time he gets that ball in there. Because if he gets it that deep, he's going to score about 80% of the time. Such a good offensive player.
Comes off a 20-point performance against Dubuque Wahlert in Wednesday's quarterfinals. Trying to save it at the midcourt line, Brad Warren.
Warren just couldn't get there. I thought he was going to get to the loose ball, and he just couldn't get to it before it went over and back.
He made a great effort, but now the Rams have it. Rather, the Trojans have it. Andy Barrick off the Southeast Polk bench. Making a lineup change. Brad Keister will come into the lineup. Brad Keister has hit some huge baskets on the tournament trail for Southeast Polk. Now we've got a stoppage play with 4:10 to go in the first period. Rams lead the Trojans 5-4. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Southeast Polk with an early 5-4 lead over Iowa City West midway through the first period of play in this 4A semifinal at Veterans Auditorium. In the white, trimmed in green, the Trojans with the basketball, trying to regain the lead. Lang goes all the way, and getting a hand on it is Kyle Orton for Southeast Polk.
Rebounding-wise right now, Iowa City West leads 5-1, and they also are getting off more shots, but Southeast Polk shooting 50%. Anytime you shoot 50%, you're in pretty good shape.
Rams are going to have their hands full against a taller, more athletic team, but they've been in this situation before. Worley open from the top. He can hit him from there and gets the roll. 6 for Worley, and Iowa City West regains the lead.
He has a very good shot for a big guy. 15-footer is a pretty good shot for him.
Nick Boyd bothered by Lang. Orton has the jumper for 3. And the rebound is taken down by Justin Wick for Iowa City West.
Justin's kind of an unsung hero. Does a nice job in there for Iowa City West.
Had a big rebounding game against Dubuque Wahlert. Had 10 boards in that ball game. Lang on the baseline, can't finish it. The rebound taken by Warren. Here come the Rams trying to regain the lead. 3 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the first period.
One thing you don't talk about enough about Iowa City West is their team defense. They are a pretty good defensive team. As I say that, they give up the baseline.
Orton with the layup. Orton with the chance at a three-point play. The bucket counts. The foul on Justin Wick.
Nice job there, getting under control at the end of a hard drive. Underneath the basket, comes back in.
Keister out, McGowan back in for Southeast Polk, while Orton goes to the free throw line. You see, he's put together a very solid junior season for Randy Barrick and the Rams. Hurt his ankle in the ball game against Davenport Central, but he is okay today. Doesn't get the roll. Worley does get the rebound.
Kind of hung up there for a little while and waited for that ball to roll off the rim, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So far in the first quarter, already 3 lead changes. Trojans are trying to create another one. Worley against the double down, misses the shot. Chasing the rebound down is James Ebert. Inside it's Lang, and Long puts it down.
Southeast Polk can't allow those second shots. They're doing a good job on their initial defense, but they're giving up offensive rebounds. Good look inside to Long there. Nice pass.
Yes, it was Brad Warren on the foul, and the future quarterback at the University of Kansas, Kevin Long, tries to complete a three-point play. 3 for Long, and that gives Iowa City West a lead of 2 at 9-7. Joe Walker, his dad Rich, a longtime basketball assistant at the University of Iowa under both Tom Davis and now Steve Alford, comes into the lineup. Joe Walker, number 22, averages 2 off the bench for the Trojans.
Rich Walker, one of the great guys in college basketball. I don't know if anybody that doesn't like him. He's always positive, always got a smile on his face. It's a super guy. I
will second that motion entirely. Wick knocks it out of bounds. Kyle Orton to put it in for the Rams.
The way Southeast folks play so well as a team, I'm surprised they all don't have the same number. You really couldn't tell them apart.
Well, you know, they almost could. As we mentioned, 4 of their 5 starters average between 9 and 13 points. There's their leading scorer, Nick Boyd, who takes it right to the center of the lane and knocks it down to tie the score at 9.
Good, strong move and use the glass. Nice job of using the glass.
Worley, uncontested, and you got to get a body in front of him.
Nice move by Glenn. Goes down the left side, shows he can go left as well as right.
And he's off to a big-time start with 8 points here in the first quarter.
A lot of times you'll play against guys in the tournament that are 6'8", but not of them are going to be as athletic and as fundamentally sound as Worley is. He really doesn't have a weakness. He's going to get better and better as long as he keeps a good attitude and continues to work real hard. There he comes with his left hand down the lane, makes a nice stop. 2-foot stop, lays it in. Doesn't take a chance on dunking it, maybe getting, hurt in the middle of everybody like that. Just lay it in.
Kading back into the lineup for Iowa City West. He's got the ball now. And Wick is fouled by Jake Pesic. First on Pesic, second on the Rams.
4-3, the block.
Minute 30 left to play in the first quarter of play. As you can tell, the referees, Rod Hill, Tim McCann, are mic'd, so you can hear they instruct the players and how they do it, how they call the games, administrate the games, administrating the rules.
Hargan's really trying to front in there on the defense, just not paying much attention to anybody but Worley.
And so James Ebert gets a good look and puts it down for Iowa City West. And they've got a 4-point lead at 13-9. Going for the steal, Kading, but able to hang on to it is Boyd. Nick Boyd rises up for a three. Worley controls the rebound. Kading for three.
Assist to Worley. Great job of not over-penetrating. Didn't get in there and charge. Makes a nice penetration pass out to the corner for three-point shot. Glenn Worley's played great so far.
Yes, he has. And it's now a 7-point run for the Trojans.
He's going over and encouraging his teammates.
Foul on Nick Boyd. His first, team's third. Iowa City West has hit their last 4 shots as they come up the floor with 37 seconds left in the first quarter. They have also scored 7 unanswered points after the ball game was tied up at 9.
They're playing much better than they did the other day.
Yes,
They're
they are.
Very, very well.
Ebert and Walker right now along the back line for the Trojans. That's Wick. So right now just 2 starters in the ball game for Iowa City West. As Bergman gets Worley a little bit of rest in this final minute of the quarter. Trying to go up with the recovery is Justin Wick, and Justin Wick, battling for the rebound, will go to the free throw line.
1, 4, 5, boom, 2.
Hargan's on the foul for Southeast Polk, and for Tanner Hargan's his first. For the Rams, their fourth.
Couple tough plays there. Southeast Polk, they had an opportunity to get the rebound. 2 guys thought each one was going to go get it. Neither one did. And Wick comes in and gets it, and then gets fouled.
Justin Wick, only a 50% shooter during the season from the foul line, hits the free throw. Here's Jamie Lang, a starter, back in, replacing James Ebert. And Glenn Worley is there to shake his hand and say, nice effort.
He's excited about this game. You mentioned earlier that he had talked to his future teammate about a state championship.
Well, he's very pumped up. He's a very emotional player. Wears his heart on his sleeve. You're seeing it there. The run goes to 9 now for the Trojans. 9 unanswered points. McGowan tries to end it and can't. The follow at the buzzer won't go. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Iowa City West 18 and Southeast Polk 9. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment. Iowa City West is doubled up on Southeast Polk 18-9. Right now, let's go courtside with Mark Pierce for the Fairway Fan in the Stand.
We have an exceptionally excited Fairway Fan in the stand. This is Sharon Worley, and she's the mom of Glenn Worley here playing this afternoon. And here your son's going to Iowa.
Yes, and I'm very excited about that. I'm happy for him to have a chance to offer it and the staff, and I'm glad he gets to stay home and we come to watch him play.
You're predicting a win here, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, I hope so.
Thank you very much, Sharon. We'd like to give you this sweatshirt and this hat for being with us today. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, Mark, Sharon was a little composed there, but Glenn says that the reason he gets his, what he calls spirit, is from his mom. He says Sharon gets pretty active during these games, so you just caught her at a quiet moment there, taking a break between periods. Hargans does not get the roll for Southeast Polk as the second quarter begins, and Long with a rebound for Iowa City West.
Well, everything's going Iowa City's way right now. Southeast Polk started the game being very, very patient on offense, and they've come down a couple times and shot it maybe a little too quickly. Even though they're behind, they need to get some fouls on Iowa City and move the ball a little bit, unless they get a chance to run.
Long loses the third turnover against the Trojans. McGowan in deep for the Rams. Doesn't hit the shot, but he is fouled. Long on the foul, and for Kevin Long, it'll be his first. Fourth team foul called against the Trojans. The Rams have been whistled for 4 as well.
Good try on the charge, but didn't quite get there in time. McGowan was able to keep his body out of charging in the path of Long, and gets a couple free throws here.
McGowan, a 79% free throw shooter. He was really big on the line as Worley comes back into the ball game in the sub-state final against Dowling when he had 7 of 11 free throws in the final minute of play to secure the Rams' victory and their trip to state.
Well, he's just an outstanding shooter all the way around, an excellent three-point shooter, and I think they're going to need that. But I still think they have to move the ball a little bit, not come down and shoot that three-pointer too fast.
Again, also a real off-the-court leader, according to Randy Barrick. He said he's the one that makes sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. Marcus Brathwaite, number 20, into the lineup for the Iowa City West Trojans.
Again, Worley way out on the court.
Long with the miss, Brad Keister with a rebound. In the middle, it's Hargens. Tries to go inside Worley, who recovers the block. Tanner Hargens gets it handed back to him, but now the steal by Brad Keister. Keister, only a sophomore, has made some huge plays for the Rams down the stretch of this season. Ball out of bounds off Southeast Polk, and it goes back to Iowa City West.
Hargens just couldn't get that basket down. They're really having a tough time putting the ball in the hole. Nice pass. Just won't go down.
Yeah, it was all there but the finish. Rams have now missed 6 shots in a row.
Yeah, they can't afford to do that. They've got to get good shots and make them.
Schroeder created the penetration, which got Worley a pretty good look. He gets his own rebound and is fouled on the way in.
2 and 2, Phil. Which one now?
Again, Worley gets a 15-foot shot, which is okay. You defend it, but then he gets the offensive rebound. You got to block him out.
Hargens on the foul, his second. And Glenn Worley will go to the line. Worley a cut on the final cut before the McDonald's All-American team was announced, so that gives you an indication of how well regarded he is nationally.
Tell you what, that game came to Ames last year, and I was amazed how good those players were and how big and skilled they were. It was just unbelievable. And they've all gone on to have great freshman years and won to the pros.
One of the things that Steve Bergman likes about Glenn Worley, and there are many, is his unselfishness. Says he's a great star. He can score a lot more than he does, but he's an unselfish player.
Yeah, he's matured a lot from a sophomore, but he was a mighty good player as a sophomore,
Yeah,
too.
he was. In fact, you recall he won the state tournament with a free throw with no time on the clock against Hoover 2 years ago.
I thought he really came of age in that game because he was playing against a big, strong Greg Danielson who could muscle him out, and boy, he battled him all the way down and probably had the best of him, and that was a great performance for a sophomore against a senior.
Nick Boyd on the offensive foul. That is his second foul, and the Rams can ill afford to have him off the floor.
Now, they don't want to get in foul trouble. That's just one more problem. They're having a tough enough time shooting the ball right now.
Schroeder looks inside. Schroeder gets it right back and then loses it. Ahead of the pack is McGowan, and he finishes for the Rams. That is a 6-shot scoring drought for Southeast Polk. They've missed 6 in a row, but the layup gets them within 6 at the 5:30 mark.
Oh, big pick by Worley. Both players almost went down. Contact. And now the foul called.
Blocking foul against McGowan. His first.
Good defensive steal. Nice lead pass. McCown gets himself under control. Nice basket.
A basket the Rams really needed to try to stem the flow for the Trojans. Seth Schroeder goes out of the lineup. At the free throw line, Jamie Lang. Lang, a 13-point effort against Dubuque Wahlert in the quarterfinals. A 71% free throw shooter. He was 5 out of 6 in that ball game. A 1-point win for Iowa City West. And the left-hander continues his free throw shooting. He's really played his best basketball the last couple of weeks, according to Steve Bergman.
I think a lot of kids are that way in high school, and that's one thing that makes that early recruiting so difficult in college. You look at a kid before his senior year ever starts and try to evaluate him. And some of these kids blossom in February and March, sometimes not till the state tournament.
Justin Wick back on for the Trojans, replacing Kevin Long.
Well, let's see if they can really do a nice job in their offense this time and maybe create a basket and a foul.
McGowan works it on the baseline, and the drive is not in the hopper for Keister. Keister did everything on the drive but get the ball to go down.
That is unbelievable. That ball went down, around the rim, and came back out.
I'm not sure how either. Kading, good look inside. In traffic, the shot put up by Ebert. Now Wick in deep, and he is fouled. Going for the block is Pesic, and he got the foul, and that'll be his second.
Here's the drive. Has to come back in front of the basket. Ooh, close call there.
Justin Wick, only a sophomore, 6'5", 165-pounder. Big Ten rebound performance against Wahlert in the quarterfinals. And he's now 3 of 3 from the free throw line.
The problem started there when he was allowed to take the baseline. Then you have to make the great play to block the shot, and that's hard to do. If the baseline had been sealed off, it may not have ever gotten to that point.
Walker in and Kading out along the guard line as Wick has hit all 4 of his free throws.
Very quick. Wick's very quick, too. Very good drive on that baseline.
And those 2 free throws give the Trojans their biggest lead of the game. They're now up by 10. Timeout, 23-13. Iowa City West over Southeast Polk, and we'll be back in just a moment. Iowa City West with a lead of 10, their biggest. And in the middle of the huddle for the Rams, their new coach, Randy Barrick. He had been an assistant coach at Columbine High School in Colorado. The team that was awful shootings. The day of the shootings, he was teaching at another high school in the area, Alameda High School. Had already planned to come back to Iowa prior to those shootings. In fact, the shootings gave him second thought about leaving the Columbine community at that time, but he decided to go ahead with his initial plan. But obviously a tragic moment in his life as he was a part of all that tragedy. Worley on the foul, it'll be his second.
Maybe they need to attack Glenn Worley, because right now they're 10 down. They're down on the boards, 16 rebounds to 5. So they can't rely on that outside shot and wanting go back on the other end.
They correct the foul total on Worley. That is only his first. At the line is Kyle Orton, starting quarterback on the Rams football team. Hits the free throw to cut the margin to 9.
Worley got in trouble that time because after he blocked the shot, he followed down, and he almost always call a foul as your arm goes down and through. As well as he jumps, he should try to block the ball and just tip it in a direction to one of his teammates.
Trojans the ball on an 8-point lead. Take a look at the shooting in the ball game. Not great for either ball club at this point. Jamie Lang, the 5'11" senior guard, to inbound. Joe Walker flashing out to take the ball. Goes around the Worley pick. Walker guarded by Orton. Tried to get it inside to Worley, who made a nice job saving it. Worley loses at that time. Maybe guilty of over-dribbling the ball.
Yeah, you could see that coming. He was going to dribble that thing, and it was just too much. He had too many people around him defensively.
McGowan has it taken away by Walker.
Ooh, great hustle by both teams.
Worley getting tangled up with Joe McGowan.
Well, this looks like Saturday Night Wrestling here.
Yeah, yes, it does. And that is foul number 2 on Glenn Worley. 16 fouls against Iowa City West and 8 against Southeast Polk. Worley now to the bench for the Trojans. Probably for the final 3:33 of the quarter.
And this is a big 3 minutes and 33 seconds because they need to take advantage of Worley being out. And they just can't get that ball down.
Orton misses on the turnaround. Rams a 47% field goal shooting team throughout the season, but today right around 30%. Ebert losing the handle. Coming up with it, Orton in deep to finish is Keister.
How many layups have they missed?
Oh, a bunch. Keister just Secondly, if you figured he probably had, did not. Steve Bergman using a timeout. By the way, wants to say hello to his mom, Alice. She's been ill lately, unable to make the trip to the auditorium for this one, so she's back home watching on television. And Alice Bergman, all of us here wish you a very speedy recovery. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left in the first half. Iowa City West with a 23-15 lead.
I'll tell you what, Worley's out of the game now. 3 minutes left. Southeast folks got to make a run and get it down to maybe 4 or 5 points, or even catch them at this time to change the momentum before halftime. The other day when Worley was out, Iowa City West did a great job of being patient and moving the ball. That time they got a little bit overextended on offense, and there was a steal by Southeast Polk. Let's look for Iowa City West now to be pretty patient on offense.
Into the final 3 minutes of the first half of this 4A semifinal game. Earlier today, Johnston advanced with a 56-50 win over Cedar Rapids Kennedy.
Get off now.
Ebert trying to get inside of McGowan. Spins it off to Long, who goes baseline and misses. Then the rebound is claimed by McGowan. Good play by Wick at the defensive end of the floor, and Walker will bring it ahead for Iowa City West.
Another chance there to make a catch, and they couldn't quite do it.
Kading for three. Nate Kading, his second three of the game, and it's a 26-15 game, an 11-point lead for the Rams, rather for the Trojans against the Rams. McGowan trying to work on Kading.
Got to stay aggressive on offense here. Keep the pressure on the defense.
Here's Orton. Trying to move around Ebert. Kading battling for the rebound with a teammate, Wick, and the result is the Rams get it. For Southeast Polk, Nick Boyd, who'd been on the bench with a couple of fouls, number 33, comes back in. Seth Schroeder comes in for Iowa City West.
They got to have Boyd in there at this point. They need some baskets, and he's one of their better shooting guards.
Boyd on the miss.
And he caught the bug, too.
And all the Rams got to hope is they can regroup at halftime and suddenly find the shooting touch, which has eluded them.
Yeah, they could be 20 down right now very easily.
Hollingford is long, missing it off the baseline. Orton brings it ahead. And the kick will give the ball to Southeast Polk with a minute 13 to go in the period. Steve Bergman on the bench for Iowa City West. 2 years ago, directed them to a state championship. Also here in 96, they finished second that year. So Bergman's had a lot of success at Iowa City West.
Southeast Polk's 5 for 19 from the field, 26%. Boy, they just got to try to find some way to get some easy baskets, but they're getting the easy basket shots, and they're not going. It's not like they're missing long shots.
Jared Nelms, number 53, is coming to the lineup for the Rams. Here's Warren on their turnaround, or making Orton on the turnaround. And the rebound taken down by Schroeder. Ahead, it's Walker. Walker will go to the line. Orton got down, thought he'd established position. The officials say no. Kyle Orton with his first foul.
Southeast Polk went out of their last 13, and gee whiz, you know, they're 11 down. They're having a tough time right now. Yeah, he didn't quite get there on the take the charge. Good try.
And so Joe Walker, who was an outstanding football player, a running back on this two-time champion Iowa City West team, and plans to go to Iowa and continue his athletic and academic career, hits the free throw.
Yeah, we got some guys that won state championships besides Worley, and some of them played football there.
Oh, absolutely.
And that means a lot, too, because you just have that great confidence and attitude about being a champion.
Walker knocks them both down to extend the lead to 13 points. So actually, Jim, what has happened is Iowa City West has extended the lead with Worley on the bench.
They did that the other day, too. It did a nice job. I think sometimes when he goes out, they're more team-oriented, and they'll move the ball, and just whatever happens, happens. They've done a good job, and we can't underestimate their defense, too. One reason Southeast Polk is shooting poorly is because they put good pressure on them.
Nelms looking for some help. Orton comes around to take the pass. Here's McGowan. for three, leaving it off the front of the iron. The shooting woes continue for the Rams. And they'll be glad to see this half come to an end from that standpoint.
I think they want to go to the other basket for the second half.
I'm sure they do. This one's had a lid. Trojans play for the last shot.
8 seconds.
Hating for three.
In and out. They got time to get one off. Maybe they can get one here at the half. Boyd knocked away. 1.3.
It's going to be a catch and a shot for the Rams.
One good thing about this, Larry, they're going to have a chance to inbound it and shoot it. So if they have a nice play here for a side out of bounds, they might be able to get a three-pointer either at the top of the key or in the corner.
McGowan looks to inbound. He finds Orton. Orton's fall away is short. That's the end of the first half with the score. Iowa City West 28, Southeast Polk 15. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment. Welcome back to Veterans Auditorium. It's halftime of the lower bracket 4A semifinal. Earlier today, Johnson knocks off Cedar Rapids Kennedy 56-50. Halftime in this one, Iowa City West with a 28-15 lead over Southeast Polk. And Jim, such a physical mismatch because Iowa City West is so athletic that for the Rams to be successful, they're going to have to shoot the ball significantly better.
Exactly, and that's what they're struggling with. I think Randy's probably in there. His biggest concern is the guys don't come out and try to win it all back in the first minute. They got to go back to what got him here. That's good team play, good shots, good defense.
Trojans a 13-point lead at the half, and we'll be back after this word from your local station. Southeast Polk 15. Halftime of this 4A semifinal game. The winner of this ball game takes on Johnston, the Dragons, with a 56-50 win over Cedar Rapids Kennedy in tomorrow night's 4A title. It's Iowa City West leading Southeast Polk 28-15 at the half. Larry Morgan, Jim Hallahan, the story from Veterans Auditorium where Iowa City West pretty much dominated that first half due to some very poor shooting by the Rams.
Yeah, and that poor shooting had a little to do with the defense of Iowa City West. You know, 2 years ago they played a great Hoover team that had just scored big points all year long, and they really held them about 25 points under their average. So I think a little bit has to do with the Iowa City West defense on Southeast Polk, and now they have a chance to make some adjustments. And this first couple minutes of the second half is going to be crucial for Southeast Polk.
Well, you saw that Ram with a frown on his face. We take a look at the first half shooting percentages, and that will exactly show you why the Ram wasn't smiling right now.
Boy, 25%. I mean, 36% is not great. You figure if you hold them to 36%, you'd be excited, but you're only shooting 25% if you're Southeast Polk. And that's tough. Free throw percentage is good for both teams. Three-point field goals very, very low at this point. And look at the rebounds.
Yeah, that's a very interesting margin.
I think that's wrong.
So
I think
do
that's flipped around. I think that's Iowa City West 21-8 on rebounds.
You know, we'll have to check the official stats, but I'm virtually certain you're right because Iowa City West really did a terrific job on the board. So the Rams certainly have their hands full against a very talented Iowa City West Trojan team. And in fact, we take a look at the official rebound statistics, and it is the Iowa City West with the overwhelming rebound edge. So right now the Rams hoping that they can regain the shooting touch and get back in this one because we've got 16 minutes left to play, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. At Veterans Auditorium, it's Iowa City West leading Southeast Polk at the break, 28-15. The Rams, a team that averages 63 points a ball game, so obviously this 15 points is something they're not used to looking up at the scoreboard and seeing at halftime. We take a look at the first half highlights, and Glenn Worley, a bunch of highlights for Iowa City West.
Well, he's just, any place he is on the floor, he's dangerous. There he is down low with three people around him. Great quickness in hands, was able to catch it, not put it on the floor and score.
Nick Boyd, couple of back-to-back baskets in the first quarter for the Rams.
Yeah, they need him in there this second half. I don't think they can pull him out even if he gets another foul.
Another look at a play by Iowa City West is knocking it down was Ebert.
Good defensive play by Southeast Polk, and yet they get down there and finally convert on a layup. I think they were probably about 1 on 4 on layups on steals. So I watched them, and they were about 12 for 20 in jump shots warming up for the second half. So maybe they're going to come out and shoot a little better.
Well, they certainly hope so, because as we get ready to start the second half of play, the Rams find themselves down against an Iowa City West team that hard to believe when you take a look at this talent on the floor. They are not rated in the final rankings by either the Associated Press or the Des Moines Register. Part of the reason they got off to a 5-4 start, and Steve Bergman said at that point there were a lot of doubters. But, you know, people don't realize the toll that winning a football championship takes when you play those 4 games in a couple of weeks.
Well, not only that, but, you know, you never know what kind of injury problems or other problems the team has until they get everything straightened around in January. There's a lot of situations that people don't understand goes on in a basketball team. There's personality conflicts. There's kids who get hurt. There's problems with families and stuff. And what you want to do is bring your team together at the end of the year, and that's what Steve Bergman seems to do all the time.
Yes, he certainly does. He did it 2 years ago when Iowa City West won a state title, and now they're 16 minutes away from having another chance to do that. 28-15, Iowa City West over Southeast Polk as we begin the second half. We first of all take a look at the scoring leaders. McGowan setting the pace for the Rams, and Worley leading a balanced scoring attack for the Trojans.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you can look at these scores. It's just not enough points on the Southeast Polk side, and the percentage was low. But they are good shooters. They're going to come back to the second half, have a lot of composure, and I think they'll come back and make this a game.
I think they will also. After all, they've done it all season long, sometimes against the odds. Nobody thought they'd get past Dowling, but of course, Randy Barrick's team did.
And when they did lose, they lost in very close games. So they're not accustomed to being in this situation. They're not very happy with it. I think you're going to come out and see some great hustle.
You know, we talked about it earlier. Randy Barrick leading a team due to the state tournament in his home state. He's a native of Spencer for the first time. And then having his wife give birth to a baby all within about a 12-hour period. Now, how about a couple of emotional highs back-to-back?
I know one more emotional high he'd like to have, and that's about a 16-point comeback in this game.
Yes, you know he would. By the way, congratulations to Randy and his wife, Jill, on the birth of their baby daughter about 3 a.m. on Thursday after his team won a quarterfinal game a few hours before at Betts Auditorium. Steve Bergman is telling his ball club to maintain the intensity they showed in the first half. Glenn Worley, the high school All-American, back into the lineup after sitting out a majority of the final 4 minutes of the second quarter with foul problems. And so you know that the Trojans will look to him.
Yeah, I would imagine they'll go to Worley early. And the other night he started out the game by being out on the three-point line, even shot a couple three-pointers, but as the game went on, he got back inside. And that's where he really does damage to teams like this with no size to combat him.
Worley with the inbounds to Lang, and now bringing it up will be Seth Schroeder, his first team all-conference point guard for Iowa City West. Worley from the perimeter. You're right. He can do it from there.
17-footer, very easy for him on that shot.
Worley with 11 to lead all scorers, and that enables the Trojans to double it up on the Rams at 30-15.
West defense still tough.
Hands up.
Not too much available yet for Southeast Polk.
Pesic gets the ball outside to Boyd. Try to clear out for Boyd. Stick it right with him is Lang, and he has the presence to knock it off the shins of Lang and out of bounds.
Kevin Long really helped on that screen. He jumped way out in the dribble lane and actually almost caused a turnover.
You know, you said it earlier. Everybody would talk about Iowa City West and all their weapons. You don't want to forget what an outstanding defensive ball club they are. Boyd on the miss, and the ball goes back to the Trojans with 7:11 to go in the third period.
Hands off.
Schroeder on the dribble for Iowa City West.
They'll double team out on top.
Worley trying for 2 in a row from the perimeter. Not there. The rebound taken underneath by Long and hammered away from him, and it goes to the Trojans. Schroeder to trigger. 6-foot senior guard looks in.
They finally get Glenn Worley to shoot maybe one step out a little far, and what happens, they get the offensive rebound, get it back in play. Another offensive rebound.
Long unable to save it, and the ball goes to the Rams. Steve Bergman on the bench for Iowa City West.
Tell me about that Rams. How'd that name come up?
So, you know, a lot of people who are not from Central Iowa might not realize that Rams, the nickname Rams, is from the communities they serve. That's Reynolds, Altoona, Mitchellville, the Rams.
Hands off.
When I missed that extra today, I almost ended up being a Ram.
You've had about a little construction on the north side of Des Moines, huh, Jim?
Little construction.
Right here. 2-2. No, he's 2-2. Well. White. 1-2. Boom right here.
Foul called on Jamie Lang, and to the free throw line for Southeast Polk, Nick Boyd.
He took me in the face. That was my fault. All right, man, we got 2.
Boyd, a 16-point performance against Davenport Central in the quarterfinals to lead the Rams to a 47-44 victory over a team that was making its record 22nd state tournament appearance.
Well, maybe the Rams can get on the free throw line where no one's guarding them. It gives them a chance to get their confidence up. Sometimes just making a free throw, getting back in the groove will help a shooter. Boyd knocks both of them down.
Those are the first 2 points for Southeast Polk here in the second half. Skating, looking for something inside. Rams doing a good job of keeping the middle pretty blocked up at this point. They move it well. The foul on Warren as Kevin Long hits his second basket and will go to the line trying to complete a 3-point play.
Southeast Polk went to a 2-3 zone that time. You know, they've been hurt on penetration a little bit, and Long snuck along the baseline and they got the ball behind the zone, which is, boy, is real trouble for his own defense, and he converts a very good shot and gets fouled.
At that time, West showed really good patience in A, recognizing it, and B, attacking it.
Right.
Long badly missing on the free throw. Hargan scraps the rebound, but it's taken away from him by Kading.
Unbelievable. Southeast Polk gets the rebound and just somehow it leaves his hands. And Iowa City West gets possession.
And then because he was all bottled up, he uses the timeout. So we got 5:58 left to go in the third period, and Iowa City West continues to hang on to a large lead. Right now it's a 15-point margin at 32-17. Andy Barrick on the bench for Southeast Polk. An assistant at Ames High. We mentioned a native of Spencer, an outstanding track performer. He was the 2-time state champ of the 800 meters. And he said that among the things he's excited about are coming back and seeing the Drake Relays.
Oh, that's a great treat. I think I've been here 17 years and I've been to the Drake Relays at least 13 times.
It's a great event. Trojans trying to add to a 15-point lead. 5:50 left in period number 3. Worley looking for Long. Long off the baseline.
Boy,
Kevin Long.
having a good game today. Real strong inside. He's completing the play. The other day he had a little trouble finishing off. He's finished off 2 nice plays here in the last 2 trips.
And once again, the Trojans have doubled up on the Rams. Harkins looks in against Long. This is Orton. Orton off the pick by Harkins. He loses the handle.
Another turnover.
Then the foul on Southeast Polk trying to get the ball back. Orton picks up his second foul.
You have to be real careful here and not let frustration take over and lose your concentration. You got to play like a 0-0. Plenty of time left. Get the good shots, play good defense.
Schroeder can't finish. And the whistle going against Worley, and that will be his third.
Well, that's a lot of misses for Southeast Polk. That's last 7 shots have been missed, or 1 for 14 going back to the first half. This may help, though. Worley's going out now. Maybe they feel like they can attack the basket a little bit.
That was the concern of Randy Barrick in the quarterfinal game. He said they did not attack the basket early enough. He said finally they got after it and got to be effective. Boyd in deep, gets the roll.
Right there.
First basket for the Rams in the second half. It comes at the 4:52 mark.
And gives them a chance to press full court. They're going to have a hard time getting by in 10 seconds. Oh, it barely makes it over. And a steal. Good pass.
In deep, it's
And
McGowan.
they made the layup. Good pass, good layup.
And Steve Bergman is not going to let Southeast Polk gain any more momentum.
Good time out there. Stop that momentum.
We'll be back in just a moment. Jim, for the Rams to get back in it, they're going to need a lot of defensive stops and offensive finishes.
And there they got it. A good job on the full court press. Orton makes a nice steal and a really nice pass to the open man. Earlier in the game, they dribbled it all the way down and had a charge. Nice decisions that time.
And after those back-to-back Rams baskets, Steve Bergman using a timeout.
Cut him off. Oh, nice spin move by Walker.
Lang and Keating, Schroeder along the back line right now for Iowa City West, and up front they go with Wick along with Long.
Jamie Lang, I said Walker, that's Jamie Lang. Boy, what a great move he made to avoid the charge a minute ago. Oh, steal away, knocked away. Here comes McCowan, loses the ball.
So the Rams got a little bit in a hurry that time rather than pull it out and use some patience.
Yeah, probably should have just pulled it out and let some other fillers come down the middle.
Schroeder, good look inside to Wick. He hits the shot. He gets shoved from behind. And Justin Wick has a chance at a three-point play.
He's kind of been the guy at the right place at the right time, boy. He make a little loose ball, and he ends up getting a layup out of it. Good job of not putting the ball on the floor when he did get that pass, and that's what allowed him to score, get fouled, and not affect making or missing the shot.
Brad Keister comes into the lineup, replacing Joe McGowan for Southeast Polk. The foul on Kyle Orton, and that's his third. And trying to complete the three-point play, a talented sophomore in Justin Wick. Wick with 7 as Jared Nelms comes on for Southeast Polk, a big 6'4" sophomore. He replaces Tanner Hargan.
Down 16. They made a little run. Now they're down 16 again, so they need to get back to business.
Justin Wick, a valuable performer off the bench today for Iowa City West. In traffic, making the catch is Nick Boyd. Boyd drawing the foul after making a good tough catch in traffic. Jamie Lang with his third foul, and Nate Kading will now come into the lineup replacing Jamie Lang.
Iowa City West has a nice bench. When they sub, you don't feel like they're going down at all. Those kids come in and got a lot of confidence and are playing very well.
Yeah, they played about 10 players. And again, when Worley was out with foul problems the first time, they actually built on the lead.
Now they got it up to 16 again.
Going for the steal and getting it is Justin Wick. Wick makes a big defensive play.
Good job on a good defensive position. Had his hand in the passing lane. Was able to deflect it off the offensive player.
Ebert brings it ahead for Iowa City West. Now Kading gets fouled by Orton. And that'll be foul number 4 on Kyle Orton. And again, you're seeing, you talked about Steve Bergman's bench. Randy Barrett has not had that deep a bench, and consequently, he's going to leave Orton on there with 4 fouls.
Well, you're 16 points down, 3 minutes going to third quarter. I don't think that holding a guy out is going to do any good. You might as well get something out of him.
Joe Walker back into the lineup for Iowa City West. Kading with an open look. Keister with a rebound. Open, Orton. Orton's going to try it again. Walker rips down the rebound. Two and a half to go on the third. The Trojans try to add to a 16-point lead.
Hands now, hands.
Iowa City West spreading it out a little bit, putting a lot of pressure on the defense. Good trap, though. Walker gets out of it, makes a nice pass. Oh, good play.
The interception by Nelms on the pass. So the Rams play defense for about 30 seconds, and it results in a turnover.
That's what they have to have, boy. They just got to get some turnovers and some baskets.
Off the dribble, it's Boyd on the miss. Coming up with it in traffic, Jake Pessett. Pesek, good job hustling after the offensive rebound.
And got an offensive rebound. That's not been many of those available for Southeast Polk. Even though they shot poorly, they haven't got many offensive rebounds.
Justin Wick with the foul. It's his second. And Pesek goes to the line. 1:51 to go in the third. His team trailing by 16. Dave Pesek, considered the most consistent of the Rams players. In fact, Randy Barrett said this is a guy who does everything that a coach will ask of him. McGowan back on for the Rams.
All right, here we go, one. Let it hit, man, let it hit.
Pesek averaging 5 points a game during the regular season, looking for second point in this one. Follow shot is there by Brad Warren. Hayden open, misses the bank. Rams have a big rebound. Coming up with it, Nick Boyd. Boyd all the way, finishes what he started.
Good hesitation move. The left-handed player uses his right hand real well there.
And that one-time 17-point lead for Iowa City West is down to 11, and so Steve Bergman uses a timeout.
Well, you know, you wish that run would have cut him to 2, but it only cut him to 11, but they got to keep hanging in there.
The Rams are making a run. We'll be back with more in a moment. Well, we talked about the depth of Iowa City West, Jim. They have used 9 players, and so they probably have a lot left down the stretch. The Rams with a 7-player rotation, and that makes a difference.
Sure, especially when you're behind and you're playing hard defense to catch up. And now here comes Glenn Worley back into the game after about a 5-minute rest. And I'm sure he's going to be very actively involved in the next couple minutes of this game.
Schroeder, Walker, Ebert, and Wick on the floor along with Worley for Iowa City West. And the foul is called on Nick Boyd, his third. So for the Rams now, Orton with 4 fouls and Boyd with 3. And for the Trojans, Lang and Worley 3 apiece.
They're just fronting Worley wherever he is, face guarding him and hoping to get him a little frustrated, but it cost Boyd a foul there.
Go on the hook, work.
Ebert's dribble comes to an end, so he finds Walker. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. 37-26, Iowa City West leading Southeast Polk. The Trojans are being patient. Walker down the lane. This is the shot. Worley with the offensive rebound. And a foul is called on Southeast Polk, trying to take it away from him on Jake Pesek. Pesek with his third foul.
He was battling Worley, and they're really doing a good job on defense. That's a tough call there.
16 foul against the Rams. Trojans have been called for 4.
Here we go, gentlemen, ball in.
Pesek out of the lineup for Southeast Polk.
They got the lob open. There it is.
Worley, one bounce, goes right to the hole, hits the shot, and he is fouled by Brad Warren.
You could see that coming. You could see Worley was going to step back and just throw over the top of that double screen, and hard to stop that.
Yes, it is.
Here it is. Good pass from out of bounds. Nice power move inside, takes the foul, is able to hang in there long enough to get a basket.
Well, a lot of Hawkeye fans are excited about the recruitment of Glenn Worley, and you can see why today.
He's going to be an outstanding player. He doesn't know yet what it's going to take to get to where he's going to go, but I'm sure Steve Alford's going to help him get there.
McGowan on the dribble for the Rams. Final minute, third quarter. Foul on Ebert. Long back on for Iowa City West.
Southeast Polk not in the bonus yet, so there's another opportunity. Had they had a couple more fouls, they could have scored on that, but they just get the ball out of bounds.
Worley checks out for the final 30 of the third quarter. Iowa City West with 5 team fouls and Southeast Polk with 7.
Get out, Fred.
Rams look to score to cut the margin at the end of 3. Boyd loses it. Last touch by the Trojans. And so with that much time left in the third period, the Rams take another shot.
Well, again, if they execute their play, they should get a good shot here. They got the ball out of bounds underneath the basket, which is the best place to have it if you're trying to get an entry pass and a shot.
Brathwaite in for defensive purposes. The fall away is good by Tanner Hargans on the lob play. And that pulls the Rams to within 11 at the third quarter break. That's the end of the third quarter. The score, Iowa City West 39, Southeast Polk 28. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment. After 3, it's Iowa City West 39, Southeast Polk 28. Right now, let's go courtside with Mark Pierce for the Fairway Fan in the Stands.
We're in the middle of Rams country. Fairway Fan in the Stand. What's your name?
Kitty Boss.
Tell you what, it's kind of hard to really say anything. Rams gonna win this?
Yeah!
All right, let's hear Ram Power. Let's go back upstairs.
Almost hazardous duty pay for our buddy Mark.
Well, it's great attitude and excitement for this fans of this team that's had such a great year.
Rebound by Hargans. He'll get the Rams another opportunity, except they will be called for the over and back, and the ball goes to the Trojans.
That's a Glenn Worley caused turnover. He rebounds the ball in front of the basket, and rather than taking it back up strong, he sees Worley, so he tries to throw it back out. It's an over and back. So just another problem with the presence of the big guys out there.
Stepping out of bounds after getting the steal is McGowan. So the Rams had the steal momentarily, but could not hang on. Both teams have now turned it over 12 times. Jamie Lang on the dribble for the Trojans. This is Joe Walker. 3 guards in there right now for Steve Bergman. The other is Schroeder. The drive is there by Joe Walker. And it's a 13-point lead for Iowa City West. At the other end, the shot will go by McGowan. And a jump ball is called on the rebound tussle. The possession arrow puts it in the hands of the Trojans.
McGowan made a nice move down the middle. In fact, his man fell down when he went behind the back, but who did he run into at the basket? Glenn Worley.
You're right. He's a presence at both ends of the court. The great ones always are.
There it was, and Worley gets the rebound, pressures the shot, and causes a jump ball to Iowa City West.
Just over 7 to play. Iowa City West at 16-6, Southeast Polk 19-3, with their 3 losses by a total of 3 points. Andy Barrick shakes his head for the Rams. There's one stat that's got to be uppermost in his mind right now, and that's 30% field goal shooting. Tough to overcome that.
Tough to overcome that, and it's hard to shake that and all of a sudden shoot 60% in a quarter, because that's kind of the way it goes. But somehow they've got to get the ball in the basket a couple times, because when they've set up their press, they've been good and they've had some turnovers. But see, you can't press if you don't score.
Worley with a steal. Whoops. Well, you won't see this very often.
Great steal by Worley. I don't know if he was undecided here what he was going to do or if he just lost the ball. Looks like he took off a little shaky on his leg there. That would have been a big dunk.
Yeah, I was expecting some thunder. Rams with a 3 can make this a 10-point game.
Can't get her down. Good job by Katie on the defense, too. Got to end up on the 3-point shooter.
Kevin Long on the rebound. Here comes Jamie Lang.
Iowa City West is doing a good job contesting all the shots. That's why they're not making them. They're not getting really good, clean, open looks. And there's an
Open
open look
Schroeder
right there.
for 3. The rebound by Boyd.
Goes McCowan down the floor. He can shoot the 3 in transition.
Barely glances iron, and the rebound is taken by Pessin. Jake Pesic, good aggressive move to go chase down that offensive rebound. And the foul called on Iowa City West, and it's called against Nate Kading, his second foul.
Well, they're finally in the bonus, so they get a chance at least to go unguarded at the free throw line for a shot.
Rams not a great free throw shooting team, 65% during the season. Pesic 1 of 2 at the line. And the tip is there.
Well, that's a big basket for him. I think that was Orton that tipped that ball in.
Either that or Hausen. I wasn't sure which of the two. And it was Orton with the tip in. That gives him 6 points.
The tough thing about fouling now for Southeast Polk is when you're down 11, there's not a lot of pressure on the other team to make those free throws. It's not like you're down 2 and you got a lot of pressure on them. So Iowa City West should be pretty relaxed now. They got a big lead. Relax and make your free throws and keep the lead. Run it out.
The guy who maybe gets overlooked a little bit, Seth Schroeder, and his contribution to Iowa City West.
Well, any successful team has some guys that are willing to sacrifice some individual talents for the betterment of the team. We've seen it here in point guards in the first game and also in this game right here. And that's the role you have to play. You have to understand for your team to win, there's certain things you got to do, and it's not always scoring.
Well, they respect him in the Mississippi Valley Conference, where he was a first-team all-conference selection. Schroeder knocks down a couple of free throws to extend the Trojan lead back to 13 at 43-30 with 5:35 left, and we'll be back in a moment. Larry Morgan, Jim Hallahan back at Veterans Auditorium. 43-30. Iowa City West has led virtually all the way. 5:35 left in this 4A semifinal. Johnston has already advanced to tomorrow night's championship game.
Well, this is a little like the other game where it was about this type of lead, and a little comeback was made. So let's see if the Rams can do it. There's a basket. Cuts it to 11.
Big basket by Jake Pesic.
Oh, almost a steal there.
Worley with a nice recovery for the Trojans. Now they've got some numbers. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Not able to, because the Rams getting back quickly.
Yeah, not only is the Rams opponent Iowa City West, it's the clock now. The clock, the time's running out. But a turnover there.
But now the Rams have a chance to cut the lead down to single digits, which would be the first time in this half.
It's been a long time.
At 5:10 to go in the second, it was an 8-point ball game. It hasn't been that way since.
And before you could say it, turnover. But it looks like they tied it up for a jump ball.
They did, and the Rams get the possession arrow. So 4:51 to play. From an emotional standpoint and a momentum standpoint, it's a huge possession for Southeast Polk.
They got a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, but they can't carry that over when they release the ball in the shot. They still have to be relaxed and just shoot it.
At the corner, we went that way.
Referee Rod Hill to the scorer's bench momentarily.
All right, so we're right.
Just checking the possession arrow, making sure that, in fact, it is the Rams' ball, and it is.
One. Hands now. Yeah.
There's McGowan trying to get open. He spins it in.
I didn't see that. Did he call bank on that? I couldn't see his lip.
Well, he probably should have. It's a 9-point ball game. Closest the Rams have been since early in the second period. Almost a steal. Hargens had it on his fingertips, couldn't control it. Now Kading goes to the middle for Iowa City West. Here's Worley.
Nice pass by Kading into Worley. Great bounce pass. Got it down where he could handle the ball and let it come up to him. Boy, that could have been a steal right there.
Back to a double-digit lead for Iowa City West. The time becomes a factor as we're inside 4 minutes. The spin and the shot won't go by Orton. The follow shot not there by Pesic. Now stepping forward is Boyd. And Boyd draws the foul against Worley.
Foul number 4. I was just going to say, Glenn's been able to play without picking up that fourth, and boom, he gets it. Tough battle here, though.
I tell you what, the Rams serve notice right there in that possession. They will not go down without a fight.
No, there's no question about that. You just hope for the kids' sake they can get it going here and get back in this game.
As they made a real great effort at 3 rebounds. Worley out with that 4th foul. Still lots of time left, 3:47.
Well, let's see now if West can increase the lead with Worley out like they've been able to do in some situations. Obviously, the press is a factor. Maybe they don't need Worley as much bringing it up as they would normally. So
Boyd's first free throw missed. He'd hit his earlier 2. Kading running down the rebound, and now into the backcourt comes Lang.
nice job by Lang getting by everybody.
The steal from behind by Orton. Again, the Rams try to cut it to a single-digit deficit. Foul called on Jake Kessick for Southeast Polk, and that will be his score.
Again, inability to convert, steal to basket. Can't cut in that lead.
Andy Barrick uses a timeout. 3:20 to play. We'll be back with more in a moment. 3:20 to go. Iowa City West leading Southeast Polk. A scramble on that last possession.
Here we go, guys. Okay, 1-on-1, Dylan. Now, fill them in. We're going to do that.
And the foul whistled.
Okay, here we go.
So Kading to the free throw line, shooting the 1-on-1 with 3:20 to play. We're only a 50% free throw shooter. Catching up with it, Boyd. He hits it.
Good pass ahead to Boyd.
And the Rams pressuring after the made field goal. A 9-point game and a foul called on Orton, and according to our book, that's it. He is fouled out. So Kyle Orton will foul out with 3:03 to go. A costly loss for Southeast Polk.
He almost was in the best position, but even when he made contact, had he fallen down, he might have got the charge there, but he kind of took the blow and stood up. And
Oh, he's got to wait. All right, you're 2 up there.
Takes a seat next to Randy Barrick on the Rams bench.
It's 2. All right, man, relax. 2.
James Ebert, a 78% free throw shooter.
nails it.
And in this quarter, West 3 of 4 from the line. Here's Joe Walker back into the lineup. See his dad, Rich, over there, nervously standing up on the bench. Of course, the longtime Hawkeye assistant, Joe's dad.
I think that's his younger son, Michael, in there cheering his brother on, too.
Ebert on the miss, and here come the Rams. They can score here. It'll be the closest it's been since midway through the second quarter. They'll have to do it at the line. The foul on Kevin Long. Tanner Hargens goes to the line. Hargens hurt most of the year, battling a knee injury. Come back to play well late in the year, but they said that over the summer he was really quite explosive prior to injuring the knee.
That's too bad. He looks good now. Hopefully it's not going to give him any more problems.
He'll be back for the Rams next season as he is a junior. Worley back in with 2:51. So he's on the bench less than a minute after picking up his 4th foul.
And the lead went down to 10 when he was out that time.
Hargens cuts the lead to 9. West 46, Southeast Polk 37, 2:47 to go.
15 on the pass. 15. What? 1, 5.
With the foul, Keister. Brad Keister's first.
Grab your shirt, please. Grab your shirt, please.
Well, now there might be more of a sense of urgency about Iowa City West needing to hit their free throws.
There's been a sense of urgency the whole game in terms of Southeast Polk. They've just been so far behind for so long they can't get into a rhythm. I think Iowa City West at this point still under control and not throwing a lot of pressure on these free throws. You got to get it closer. You got to get it closer to put the pressure on them. And the only way you're going to do that is put the ball through the basket.
Ebert, only a sophomore, very calmly steps to the line, knocks them both down, and it's an 11-point lead for Iowa City West.
Easy. 3.
McGowan on the miss. Harkins on the follow. Worley with the rebound. He's knocked down. He's fouled. The push against Pesic, and Pesic is fouled out.
1, 4, 3. Yes. 2 down.
So Pesic becomes the second Ram to foul out. He leaves with 2:33 to play and a total tonight of 3. So the Rams now, this comeback effort, 2:33 to play, running out of time and running out of bodies, 2 starters fouling out.
When you play that hard and you're that aggressive, and now you're fouling, pretty soon the guys are fouling, and the guys you got to have in the game, and they begin to foul out. Double jeopardy.
Brad Warren replacing Jake Pesic. Worley with his 16th point. He had 8 at the end of the first quarter, but then the fouls mounted up, and he spent a lot of time on the Pines.
Yeah, kind of in and out of the game, never got back into the flow of the game like he was in that first quarter.
17 for Glenn Worley, and a 13-point lead for Iowa City West. Feaster loses it. Tried to get the timeout, was not in control at the time.
Just dribbling down the floor and losing. That's what frustration does to you. He could do that a million times and he never lose the ball, and he dribbled down and just left his hand.
Wick replaces Long. Trojans go up the floor ahead by 13.
Good job by Lang again on handling that ball under good pressure.
Walker feeds Worley. A jump ball call, position arrow. We'll keep it right where it is at the Iowa City West end of the floor.
Good idea there to get the ball to Glenn, but the pass was so low on the bounce pass, it only came up about a foot, and that gave Southeast Polk a chance to get down on the floor and time up.
So in today's semifinals, Jim, we've had 2 CIML versus Mississippi Valley Conference matchups. Looks like we're headed for one more in the finals tomorrow night.
Yep, I think so.
15 points, 9 points off the bench for the Trojans. They lead by 15. So the Rams have made a couple of runs as the shot is put in by Warren. But every time they do, the Trojans have had an answer.
Lang's really been strong with the ball with all this pressure. He does a nice job, makes good decisions.
Foul against Boyd. He's 4th. Trojans on the line. 1:33 left in the ball game, and Iowa City West, they won it all here 2 years ago. Look like they're going to get another chance to do more of the same tomorrow night.
Very frustrating day for the Rams. I know they wanted to play so well, and they felt they could win the game if they played as they had been playing, and they just didn't offensively do what they wanted to do.
Ebert with 6. Kevin Long comes back in for the Trojans.
But again, we have to give credit to Iowa City West defense.
Oh, yeah.
You don't just have bad shooting nights where people are all over you and hands in your face as you're shooting.
And right now it's going well for the Trojans. Long with that last tip in, a 16-point lead for Iowa City West as Randy Barrett gathers his team around. What a ride it has been for him in the past 365 days, from Columbine High to a new job here in his home state of Iowa, to leading his team to a state tournament, to the birth of a baby daughter just hours after his team played in the state tournament. Quite a ride.
Well, it's been a great year. And as I said, you know, the last couple of years, Southeast folks struggled a little bit in basketball, and somehow he got it together this year. And he's not doing it with all seniors either, so you know he's doing a good job building the program And I know he talked to one of his kids when he fouled out the junior there, and I'm sure he told him, hey, look, we'll be back. You know, you just got to learn from this and get better. At least you have an opportunity to come back and play again.
And Steve Bergman, of course, from a coaching family, is Uncle Bud, one of the great coaches in Iowa high school ranks.
And great player.
Yeah, you're right. Jamel Jefferson now in the lineup for Southeast Polk as we go down to the final minute 20. The Rams about to lose for only the 4th time this year. And by the way, to talk about the Iowa City West defense, the season point total low for Southeast Polk was 43. And right now that figure is being challenged with a minute to play. And actually the 43 came in a win against Roosevelt in the sub-state. But right now the Rams are below 40 at 39 with a minute 5 to play.
Yeah, intensity's been outstanding for Iowa City West. They've never had a time in the game when they didn't guard. They really did a nice job of keeping the pressure on them. And then when you're Southeast Polk and you're trying to make a comeback, you want to get some open looks, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't had an easy basket all day. A couple of layup opportunities, but even those were not easy breakaway layups.
Well, what happens, you have tough shots all day, and you finally get a layup, and you're expecting something to happen, some defensive pressure, and then you miss it.
In the middle, Worley kicks it back out to Kading. Iowa City West headed for the championship game. McGowan for 3. Bullseye. 14 for Joe McGowan. But it comes too late for the Rams. Walker will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, he hit one early, and then he just couldn't get another one down till now.
Nick Boyd becomes the 3rd Southeast Polk player to foul out.
Get away, we're shooting 2. Get away, we're shooting 2.
Looks like Coach Bergman's going to clear his bench and get some kids in. That's really a neat thing, too. You know, these kids work hard all year in practice, and they don't get in a lot of games, and by golly, you get to the state tournament, they want to get on this floor. That'll be a lifelong memory that they were able to play in the state tournament.
Boyd, the senior captain, fouls out. 12 points today for Nick Boyd. McGowan, the leading scorer for the Rams with 14. Boyd with 12.
They just came at the wrong times. You know, they needed him to get him a little earlier, and when the game was maybe a little closer, just couldn't do it.
And now leaving the lineup, Brad Warren. Randy Barrett greets him with a round of applause. He'll be back next year. He was an all-conference performer as a junior. Meanwhile, Glenn Worley takes plaudits on the Iowa City bench. And one more for a guy that you're going to hear about in an Iowa football uniform in future years, Joe Walker. That is Nolan Applewhite, number 10, coming into the lineup as Joe Walker takes his seat. The shot by Justin Thomas goes down. Only a sophomore. He gets on the scoreboard in the state tournament, but it's too late as Iowa City West leads virtually all the way and comes up with a 56-45 victory over Southeast Polk. So Steve Bergman's team, who won it all here 2 years ago, advances to the 4A championship game against the Johnston Dragons. The game will be played tomorrow night. That's the end of the game with the final score. Iowa City West 56, Southeast Polk 45. We'll be back after a word from your local station. Well, it should be a good matchup tomorrow night in the championship game, Johnston and Iowa City West.
Yeah, both those teams really kind of dominated their games today and played extremely well. I think it'll be a great game. Johnston has a little more size than Southeast Polk, some pretty good outside shooters, but we'll see what Glenn Worley and company can do defensively against a good ball club like Johnston.
Iowa City West with a 56-45 victory. Glenn Worley leads the way with 19 points. We'll be back in a moment. Ironically, 56 was the score that won both ball games. Johnston over Cedar Rapids Kennedy, 56-50. And in this one, 56-45. Iowa City West over Southeast Polk. Let's take a look now at the Sitco play of the game. It's got to be a Glenn Worley highlight, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it could be about anything. It could be an 18-foot jump shot, a dunk, or a block shot.
Kading with the penetration. Worley says, I'm ready. Gathers himself, and boom.
Nice bounce pass. Good play by Kading. He's going to be tough in the championship game. I tell you, I think he'll even play another level up in that game. And be interesting to see how Johnston can defense him. Southeast Polk had a difficult time with him.
Back with more in a moment. Johnston and Iowa City West tomorrow night for the 4A title. Both advance in the semifinals. Johnston with a 56-50 win over Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Game you just saw 56-45 Iowa City West over Southeast Polk. We hope you've enjoyed this telecast of the 2000 Iowa Boys State High School Basketball Tournament.